right, everybody. Welcome to the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. This is episode 6. We are here live. I am, of course, Big Joey. I am going to do your intro today. And I am joined by my friend, Big Keith.
Howdy.
And, of course, Big Scott Dodds is here with us.
What's up, number one?
Number one. So I don't want to dive right in yet. So let's do some other stuff first. I'm thirsty. I'm going to dive right into that. I've been just itching for this drink all day. Scott,
Okay,
what are you drinking?
I got a rain storm. It's like rain light almost. They're a smaller can, and it's almost like a sparkling water enhanced. Have you had the rain storms in their smaller can? It's like cleaner energy.
I think I did. Yeah, it actually says clean on it, right? I had one of those at the commercial gym I went to as a pre-workout. It still has. I mean, I didn't even look to see the caffeine ratio. I assumed the fact that it was a rain, it had to have like 100 milligrams or something, even in the smaller bottle.
We are sitting at, I think, 200.
Oh,
200.
That's why
a regular's 3. But yeah, I work night shift when I get off the podcast today, heading into work. So, starting early.
Well, I am not working tonight as Scott is, but I am on the road working, so I had limited options. So I just had one last Mandarin orange bubbly left, or actually the Wegmans, that is. So my old faithful.
I am doing something new today. I have vanilla cherry soda.
You're all about that vanilla.
Which is a sparkling water. I noticed when I bought it too, because I was like, I remember loving this, and I was like, damn, this is like my 3rd vanilla in a week. And
I think you've been upset with each time you've got the vanilla, right? So
no,
surprising.
The Dippa was good, but the blueberry whip wasn't. I have had this. This is PC, and this honestly just tastes like cherry vanilla Coke, and it's fantastic. And we're gonna get that crispy crack. Yeah, buddy. All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Up. I should have packed my koozie. Like, this sucks. I don't want to hold this all night.
I've noticed if I go camping or on vacation and I don't have a koozie, I start to get like weird. Like I'm touching my own can. I hate this. Like I don't know why, but I must have just conditioned myself.
That sounds like a good segment or a good news podcast bit. Joey touches his can.
You could do a blind can testing like the barbell test.
Oh, that was such a good video. I enjoyed the hell out of that. The Massenomics YouTube video that came out. I think we're basically going to cover 2 of their YouTube videos this week, guys, because I want to say that then Do You Know Your Knurling Shaft came out like Thursday or Friday. So we had already recorded our episode with Big Murph last week. So I really enjoyed the video where they had everyone down in the gym just rating judging the knurling, trying to guess what it is. Like me and one of my crew buddies that works out with me on Sundays, we're definitely going to try that in the next couple of weeks whenever have kind of an easy training day probably after the meet. But I really enjoyed that concept, and I'm like curious of how many I would get, because I think I would get I'd be 80% or better, I think, on knowing all my barbells.
You need to have a rule where you're not allowed to touch the center.
No, then that would.
I feel like that narrows it down too easy.
Yeah, because you can decipher, like, even on a lot of the power bars, like my new 29 has a wider center knurling than my 28.5 for the Texas Power Bar. Speaking of 29 millimeter Texas Power Bars, big one of the hosts needs to go out and buy one, because the gym is sorely missing one down there in Aberdeen.
I have not watched that video or this week's video. I have not had.
Wow.
I would say I have not had a moment to sit and stare at a screen for longer than 10 minutes.
You don't take a poop?
Man, I gotta tell you, this week, like, I know sometimes we joke about the podcast being our therapy, but my limits are being pushed this week, mentally and physically. I'm still not healthy.
Yeah, you've been sick for a week, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm even sicker than I was last week.
Like cold and flu or something?
Yeah. Sunday it came to a head, and I essentially was just out of it for 3 days. But still got to work and feed kids and be a dad and all that. So I'm going to tell you right now, I've not watched anything. I'm even lucky I got through the podcast, but I just had to like drive a lot to do that. So Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm
I'm not
lucky where
there.
I can listen. I'm lucky I listen to podcasts all night at work. So,
Mhm.
Oh,
but
that's nice.
yeah, but I gotta say, you guys sound like you're talking extremely slow right now. I listen to so many podcasts. I listen to 1.7 to 2 times speed on all my podcasts to get them in, and you guys sound like you're taking forever right now.
Well,
You might.
we are being
Extra.
we're enunciating the
You
flags, the flags.
you are the first person to say that I talk slow, Scott. So I appreciate that, buddy.
Oh, you should hear you at 2 times speed.
Oh Jesus, there has to be a limit where it's still legible for Joey and the other for the guest, and I'm just like illegible. I'm sure there has to be like a ratio because I do talk 10, 15%, 20% faster than everybody else.
It's like a Chipmunks
Yeah.
album.
Oh wow, yeah. That's old school there.
Hey, what are you guys wearing?
I'm wearing my old faithful bench heavy blue Massenomics shirt, my favorite one, my best fitting one. I hope never mind. We'll get back to that.
Scott is wearing actually one of my favorite things, but then something I've never seen before. So tell me about that.
Well, I thought everyone was gonna be wearing the Jefferson deadlift tee today because of the contest. So I went with the regular deadlift King of the Lifts tee, but I have the one and only red lift hat.
Yeah, never seen that before. The deadlifter shirt is one of my favorites, and I think it fits the best if I slim down a little bit. But yeah, it's a nice hat. I'm gonna have to start poking some bears. Get that one out there.
Yeah,
Get
there
that one
was
released.
it was several years. I've been trying to get it released and just never followed through with it. But yeah, it was several years ago when they were a little bit smaller and still. And I said, hey, next time you guys put your order, can I get a red lift hat with black? And he's like, yeah, next time. I also got a red Massenomics logo hat with the black bill that you see
Ooh,
Tanner wearing in the opening of the podcast video. I got that hat too, but nobody else has that.
very
So
nice. Very
Hmm.
nice.
yeah, it's my competition hat. I only break it out for competitions only, and I figured the podcast today was a special enough occasion.
We did it. We made it. We're a special
Hey,
enough occasion to break this specialty spiral.
that's how I keep it nice, man. The hat's like 4 years old and it's still looking brand new because it gets worn maybe 3 times a year.
Well, speaking of the competition, looks like we're 23 days out from the meet, and I'm, really excited to go get my picture in front of the billboard. Like that's as corny as that sounds. Like that's gonna be fun. Like my wife literally texted me today because she saw it on Instagram. She was like, "So yeah, we're not leaving Aberdeen until we get a photo with the billboard." And I was like, "Well, absolutely," and that's the plan Friday night, I think.
That billboard's going to be
Nice.
quite the destination spot for like everybody's in Aberdeen is they have no clue what's going to happen to their city for 3 days. Just a bunch of silly gooses walking around taking pictures of rocks.
You're gonna need to get some traffic cones to stop traffic by the billboard.
Get a police, a scam. Oh, what do they call it? Escort.
Like some escort. Get some
Yeah,
caution tape around and
The only thing would be better if the billboard was above the Quadoba rock that everyone runs over and gets
right.
teeter tottered on.
I wonder if that rock has a Massenomics sticker on it yet. I think that might end up
Ooh.
happening.
I think
Think
they
it
should have
should.
like 20 of them by the time we leave Sunday morning.
Not if
Now,
you're hoarding your stickers like everybody last week was talking about.
well, I am. I actually just put some on my cooler today. It's not my cooler, it's my dad's. And I asked him, I was like, hey, I use this on the podcast. Can I put some stickers? And he was like, yeah, I've got another one of those downstairs. So I just slapped like so many Massenomics stickers on it. There's
Yes.
30 on there
So
currently.
so reaching back to that episode, I got a roll of like flexible magnet that I
Yep.
can put the stickers on, and then I can actually cut it. So
Yeah.
I cut out. So I have several of the Massenomics stickers now just on magnets all over the place. So
Yeah, you were the one that gave me that idea, and then I never went through with it. That's the important part there. I said, that's a really good idea that I'm never going to do. Instead, I'm going to just hold on to all of these in a bag in my in my closet and just go through them whenever I think, man, I could really use a sticker right now.
get a binder like you're a little kid with baseball cards.
Someone
Back in the
did
day.
post that they did that.
Yeah.
One of the was it one of the Davids, I think, or someone
Okay.
someone in the Discord channel today literally posted their Massenomics, like all their stickers, all their patches, all their cards, and like literally the baseball card album. And I was
That's
just like, oh
hilarious.
yeah, I hope that they like at least display all the extras because that's kind of what I do. Like I I have a bunch that I won't stick on anything, but I still have displayed in magnetic picture frames that are like on my wall with all my other gym pictures. But then anything that I have like two or three of, I'll put that on something.
The lift
I have a
short,
shelf. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
the lift short sticker though, such high quality. So there's
Yes.
one of those on the cooler and one of those on my Yeti, and I'm probably gonna end up having to get another one. You were saying about your shelf?
Oh, I got a shelf in the gym where I sit that the top of it is just loaded with all the stickers. So, yeah.
Now, are you gonna be in Aberdeen with us?
I'm not participating in the powerlifting meet. I had four strongman competitions this year,
Mhm.
and just the way it fit in, and yeah,
Well, I'm not participating, but I'm going to party. So like I'm
right,
just going to be
okay.
there in the front row screaming up because that's what you do at meets.
Designated backslapper.
Yeah, pretty much. But speaking of contests, for the second time since we've started, the Jefferson deadlift contest has started.
I just
now,
put my video up.
I was about to say I loved that. That was so much fun. But do you think just like why would they do this right before the powerlifting meet? So are they trying to like have us all extremely exhausted, like doing these heavy Jefferson singles? Is this just part of peaking? Do you do Jefferson deadlifts for
Absolutely,
peaking?
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only
Well,
one. Yep, sorry. Go ahead,
go ahead,
Scott.
bud.
I said I'm glad I'm not the only one that kind of caught that. I was just because like when I even like listened to the podcast a couple weeks ago when they gave us the dates, I think I thought I heard them wrong when it was like the end of June or beginning of July. I was like, well, that can't be right because the freaking meet is in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I do some YOLO Jefferson deadlift bullshit and like rip my fucking taint open when I'm trying to peak for a meet? So I'm still gonna do it. Like I think we have till the end of next week at weekend, so I'll pull like 225 or something. But I'm not trying to like do anything stupid and tweak something a couple weeks out.
I don't
Well,
have any.
I train a little bit different than a lot of people. I don't have a program. I do everything myself, and at my age, I'm 42. I recover a lot better from pulling 90% every week than pulling for any kind of rep range. Like I could almost pull maxes and PRs every single week and recover by the next deadlift day. But if I pulled for 10 reps, I'd be trashed, you know?
When I first started lifting, I was doing that. I was doing 90 to 100% once a week, right? And if it felt too good, I'd go up the next week, right? I was doing that forever. And you're kind of right because like I think I was more into it and more active at the time, and now like just even I tried to do some squats this week, still sick, whatever. I was like, I got to get in the gym and do something, and I failed 4 reps at like 300 pounds in squats, and that's ridiculous to me. But then I was beat up for 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I was just doing reps and then it's like, oh, you still have to do your 5 sets of 4 reps. It's like I'm almost 40, man. I don't want to be down here exhausting myself, making my groin fall out. Like this is ridiculous. I don't
Now, if it did fall out, would Canadians look at it, or they don't do that, right?
Maybe might roast it. So speaking of last week's episode, let's do this bit that we do every week. As it was introduced by somebody who said that they might like to hear us do this. So let's rate last week's episode with Brittany Diamond. I do want to be the first person out of the three of us to say I have no clue who that person was.
And
really, you never seen her doing any of the announcing for? I think I've seen her a couple times doing the announcing for different strongman competitions. But I watch a lot of strongman shows and competitions. She does a really good job.
I do not. I was at the Arnold to watch Mitch Hooper win, and that was about what I did there. I don't really watch a lot of that stuff. But I mean, that is on brand for me. I don't know things or do things. So with that said, I think it was a good episode. A lot more boob talk than I'm used to, but not in like a way that when I heard it on the Discord, I thought it was like gonna be over the top, but it wasn't really. It was standard boob talk with a bodybuilder. So I think that out of 5 JDs, I'm going to give last week's episode. What do you got? Carry the one. 5 JD Power Associates out of 5.
It's a good rating. I was a little on the fence about the episode last week, and then Tommy had to drop the bomb on how he backed his way into winning an essay contest by being the only person to put in for it, and that pushed it to five JDs.
Nice. So I'll close it out. So in Joey's defense, I think I had been following Brittany, but I don't think I her name didn't resonate. It wasn't like, oh, I know exactly who that is. Like I had to go out of my way to look to be like, oh yeah, I do follow her and vaguely familiar, but she looks kind of like 20 other girls that I follow. So I was like, I don't know. But as far as the podcast in general, I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't Patient Brandon's wife. I think that's what we all were expecting. It was the only Miss Diamond that I know. But because of that, I guess I'll still go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5. JD Powers.
The only other diamond I know is from American Gladiators. So you guys might be too young for that diamond.
No, I'm a it was like 88 to 92, I think, or something. I haven't watched the documentary on it yet, though. I heard it's a pretty good Netflix doc.
Yeah.
So you guys,
I've been thinking
you just ruined my silly question of the week.
Oh, God damn it.
100%. It was going to be, what is your American Gladiator name? And in my head, there's no way that both of them know what American Gladiators is. There's no way that they're even going to be thinking about it when I put it out there. And you went and dropped it out. It's amazing, actually. I'm not disappointed at all. That's great. Really funny. So let's do that then. What is your American Gladiator name?
Godzilla.
All right. That makes sense to me. That, because I was watching the documentary, actually, which is where this came up. And I got to show my wife, this is American Gladiators. And she's like, I don't know what that means, and went back to knitting or something. And here I am just excited like a child watching this documentary, because I remember watching this as a kid. So they always say that all their names were part of their archetype, right? Like the Malibu was the big haired, good looking bodybuilder guy. And, Ice was, straight jawed. And so I was like, okay, cool. That's the question I'm going to throw to these guys tomorrow. or as Morgan said, what about your Ultimate Warrior question? I was like, what? And she goes, the show you were watching. I'm like, American Gladiators. Damn it. Worse than I am.
Oh yeah. You said Ultimate Warrior. I'm just thinking of.
Well, yeah. So she said that. I was going, huh? I don't think I've brought him up in a little while. So Keith, what's your American Gladiator name, buddy?
Man, this is maybe the hardest one, because it hasn't been it's got to be a spontaneous kind of just a quick thing. I can't really put a story behind it like I like to with all my other ones. So I'm gonna go with so it's got to be something that would pop up underneath a little quick intro of me, and it's got to be jazzy and snappy. So Orange Glaze.
Orange Glaze?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Is that a Bukkake reference? What?
Jesus Christ.
Blaze.
Blaze? I thought he said glaze. I was like, are you a donut? What is this?
I don't know. That, or I kind of, not necessarily American Gladiator, but I did have I think I posted something a few years ago where I took a picture of a camera from above me while I was benching, and the bar narrowly blocked off my face and looked like a mask, and I called myself Neural Man. Neural Man, but that wouldn't really be a good gladiator, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, something with orange in it. I've never really been stumped on here. That's kind of bugging me.
That's all right. Well, you know what? We'll let you think on that one, and then
I'm calling you Orange Glaze. I'm calling you Orange Glaze.
Orange Glaze it is. Yeah. You might as well change your handle.
You just wrecked yourself.
That's all right.
I'd probably be troll or dwarf or something, right? Because just I'm fat and hairy and little stumpy, right? So I think I'd probably go with something like that, because I am not a muscular or strong person, but if I'm going to be a gladiator, be the guy under the bridge trying to take you down.
Grumpy old troll lives under the bridge.
So I never thought I would say this sentence, but to harken back to the Bukkake comment, I've got a funny. I've got a like. I don't think I've ever told this story. I usually try to tell
Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe.
No.
Whoa.
It's completely not sexual whatsoever.
Not that kind of podcast.
No. So one of my really good friends, he was, this was like 5-6 years ago, really into home gym stuff. He told me that his girlfriend wanted to buy him a Kabuki Transformer bar, but she didn't. But she literally kept calling it the Bukkake bar.
Mm-hmm.
So then I even I don't know. I think I even posted it in like the home gym group, making fun of her as like a joke, like not like just playfully, but so knowing that someone, my friend's girlfriend, kept calling it a Bukkake bar just was hysterical. Great. Oh no! Now I remember the funny part. I told him to tell her to Google Bukkake, and then that was the punchline. Yeah,
you actually got me thinking too that I can't wait now for this to be released, and then the Discord to go. I had to Google that. I hate you.
Google image search Bukkake. I dare you.
Yeah, I double dare you. All right. So there's the silly question of the week. Yeah.
Moving on to the new drop.
As fast as we can. I didn't get anything because I'm just going to be in Aberdeen in 23 days. So if I order it, I'm going to drive past Carol Stream, wave to my stuff, and then then I'm going to go to Aberdeen. So I might as well just buy it in Aberdeen. I think that's.
Canada. I forget.
Yeah. I'll probably, I don't know if I need the JDL shirt, but I'll probably get the lift tank. If there's the only thing about me that looks muscular is my traps and shoulders. So I try and show those.
Traps are the new abs, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about you guys? You get anything?
I did not
pull the trigger.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
You're good.
No, yeah, I did not. I might get the JDL shirt. I do like that a lot. So that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think I'm going to order the. Not necessarily. I agree. I agree with Joey. Like my shirt would be here like next freaking Monday or Tuesday if I ordered it tonight. Well, it'd be here like Wednesday, whatever. But I'm probably just I'll just at this point I'm just going to save up because I already know I'm going to spend $100 on the other shirts that were posted on the Discord that I want to get a size of that fits. So part of it is at some point I'm going to have to be like, how many hundreds of dollars can I actually spend on top of the thousands of dollars I'm already spending to get out there?
Yeah, the hotels are going to kill me. Then if I grab a couple shirts, my biggest weakness is going to be if Grant is selling off any plates at the end, like he was at the Arnold, because there's a guarantee they're coming home with me if he is, because I want some more 45s and maybe some 25s.
How many 45s do you have?
Just the one. I've got the one pair.
How many 45s total? Like not just Stringco.
Oh shit.
I just counted mine. I think yesterday. I think it was Garage Gym competition posted the question on Instagram. What everybody's weights, the amounts they had. So I actually know what I have. So I was just curious.
12 45s, nice. One pair of hundreds, 4 25s, 4 10s, 4 5s, and a pair of 2.5. So yeah, I've got more plates than I can lift for now.
I think I got 2,300 pounds. I got 30 45s. So
why?
Those are good entry level numbers. Those are
can we do
the dick measuring contest? And I can tell you what I have. So I've got 29 pairs of 45s. Actually, it's more. It's 29 pairs of York milled plus 5 pairs of deep dish. So 34 pairs. 8 pairs of 35s, 11 pairs of 25s, 18 pairs of 10s, 17 pairs of 5s, 10 pairs of 2.5s.
I swear to God, are you looking at a spreadsheet? I swear to God, are you looking at a spreadsheet?
I am looking at a spreadsheet. All of my bringing that a grand total of just plates to 4,917.5 pounds, and then another 2,205 pounds of dumbbells. Grand total 7,122.5 pounds of iron in my no wine cellar.
Yeah,
man.
But can you Jefferson deadlift 4 plates?
No, I think Jefferson deadlifts 3 plates. That's about it.
I've done 6.
Jesus.
I think I've done 4. I sucked. I it was not good form, so I didn't post it. But I think I've done 4. I did 3 at the Arnold. Just like I felt it was a bit of a dick move, but this lady was like struggling to get 3 plates up, but I wasn't really paying attention to her. And then I went as she dropped it, and she was like hyping herself up to the side. I was like, "Oh, get my camera!" And I got Kevin to film me doing the Jefferson deadlift of 3 plates, and it like obviously it went up like nothing. It's 3 plates, but here's this poor woman struggling, trying to set a PR, and then I walk up and Jefferson deadlift and teabag the bar that she's using. So it was like, as soon as I like, me and Jonathan were like, "Yeah, it was great," and I turned and looked at her, and I immediately realized what I did. So I apologize to that poor lady for
she's definitely listening,
or she forgot and is like, "This idiot's reminding me of this." But
hey, you're
public apology. Public apology to that lady. That was not my intention. I just wanted to be the first person to Jefferson deadlift at the Strength Co booth. But then Jonathan did a Jefferson of like 7 plates, like in front of me, like a little bit after that. So he got me back.
A buddy of mine was warming up deadlifting. He's a littler guy. I was at a gym I go to sometimes, and he did 315 and put it down. I walked over and grabbed it in the middle with one hand and pulled it, and then just walked away. Didn't even say anything.
You know what? I know it's a total jerk move, but like the one guy, being strong is fun, and it feels good sometimes. And
when you're among friends, you can do that kind of stuff,
Yeah, I went to a friend's birthday party who had never met in person. We were strictly online friends, and he's a large man, a very large man. He's had probably like 3 or 4 feet on my height. Like he's closer to 7 than he is to 6. And he looks at me and he goes, "For somebody that can lift my body weight, I thought you'd be taller." And I was just like, good. Good. Let me sneak that up on you, buddy.
You said, are you 5'6", 5'7"?
5'4"?
5'4", okay.
Yeah, I'm about the same height as Rey Mysterio Jr. If you're
nice.
If you're paying attention to that type of stuff.
I know that kind of stuff. I've met Sergeant Slaughter and Mankind. So.
Oh, and I heard your John Cena post today.
There you go.
Yeah.
I actually just met Mick Foley like a month ago, and he signed my weightlifting. I have a weightlifting belt that I got 5 different World's Strongest Men signatures on, and I had Mick Foley sign it. And I told him he was the first non-strongman to sign it. So he wrote down his max bench press on my belt.
Ooh,
do you want to guess?
I'm gonna guess.
Mick Foley's max bench.
Yeah.
405. 400. Easy 400.
I'm gonna go. Oh shit. 550.
So he notoriously was not a lifter.
Mm-hmm.
Like 275.
Oh, Jesus
still
Christ.
way better than me. Good work, man. And I would argue he belongs on that belt after what he's done.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
World.
I did not hesitate. Yeah,
no,
I met Mick Foley and I met Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter put me in the Cobra Clutch. That was pretty sick. If you know him.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Okay.
Oh, I do. But I think when we interview our guest, I might want to talk a little more about wrestling.
Well, we should probably get him on the horn, I guess.
Well, let's do a quick ad read.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll get our guest on the horn. Today's episode is, of course, brought to you by the Massenomics podcast. You can hear it at massenomics.com. You could join us in the Discord crew. We are over 300 strong at the moment, and that's just in Discord. There's also supporters out there that aren't even in Discord. You could be out in the world and get recognized, which happened to me the other day, and now I've got a friend who is a new friend, and we get along great. And big shout out. He just adopted a goat down the road from me. So he's got a little baby goat that he's always posting out there. Sauce on my beard, buddy. So, go massenomics.com/join. Maybe give us a couple dollars every month. Maybe join us in the Discord and maybe even get on this podcast. Big thanks to the main podcast for, essentially spearheading what we're doing, which is completely making asses of ourselves to hundreds of people a week.
Hopefully hundreds.
Hopefully. So should we get our guest on the horn?
Yeah, let's give him a ring.
All right. Uh, Big Dodzilla, is that you?
Hey guys, it's me.
Hey,
Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
You are live on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast.
Oh
Now,
yeah,
so let's get this out of the way. You are, of course, the first supporting member.
the first. Yes.
Number one, numero uno. Scott. So now you got to get a Dodzilla was numero uno shirt.
Yeah, right.
And wear that to all the events. You're
Yeah,
also
I was actually on their website the day that they put the supporting membership up and hadn't announced it on Instagram or anything. It was just there. It was all the way at the bottom. I was just scrolling, looking through stuff, and I seen it. I was like, "What the heck is this?" And I clicked on it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll throw these. I'll support these guys. Throw them a little bit every month." And then little did I know, no one had even seen it yet. So that was kind of the story behind that.
that's fantastic. You're also the first person to recognize them at the Arnold too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was 2016 or 17 Arnold, and I've been listening for about a year. And I seen him walk by, and I just yelled out in the crowd, "Massenomics guys!" And they all gave me a high five as I was walking by over to watch the strongman. And then later I met up with him and got a pic. That's back when Big Big Tyler was there too.
Oh well, I'll let you in on a shocker. We've got that photo.
What?
I know. I don't know if you know this, but we had a hookup, which I think was actually you.
Someone slid it in my DMs.
So I'm kind of a little excited, and I know we're going to get a few people excited talking about this. So you were mentioning in the previous section that you had met some wrestlers.
Yeah.
Now, I've already, of course, dropped the Ultimate Warrior reference. I mean, we already
Absolutely.
did my silly question, American Gladiators. Keith, do you watch wrestling at all?
I watched wrestling like 96 to like 2000, give or take. So that era, I know like I watched all NWO. Like I
So
was
you know the
I had
Attitude Era.
I had 13 Wolfpack t-shirts, and I remember when Wolfpack died, and then it was all back to NWO white. I was like, fuck, now I have like all these shirts that are relevant, and then the NWO red still came back. So yeah, WCW, WWE, Stone Cold, DX. Yeah, I think maybe when I got into from like 2000, I probably stopped watching it when I got into high school. But yeah, that's
So the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I actually watched it all through that time too. My dad used to watch it, and so did my grandpa. So I watched with them, and then eventually watched it on my own, and then I just stopped at some point. I want to say about
Like we all do.
yeah, I think about the Ruthless Aggression era. I kind of backed off, but then I came back when Bray Wyatt and John Cena first started their feud, and I just became absolutely enamored with Bray Wyatt. Everything
Nice.
he could do,
His Fiend theme song, I used to listen to all the time when I deadlift.
Yep, that used to be on my playlist too, and too bad they took it down. It's still on YouTube, but it's not on any streaming service. So yeah, that's really I watched it when he came back, and then now that he's gone again, I haven't watched it anymore, and I realized I'm just not that into it. But I still am like, I still follow a lot of the independent guys, and I still kind of just watch like Botchamania and the clips on the side and stuff like that. So
Like AEW and like or
yep.
more independent than that. Okay.
Yeah, AEW's in my town right now. Actually, they just did 2 events here. They
got a pretty sweet documentary show on HBO. I think it's HBO that follows AEW through all last season.
They're really doing it, and I feel like they're listening to the fans a bit more than Vince McMahon is, because I don't know what he's on, but he's out to lunch. He has no clue what people want anymore. He has no clue what is interesting, and he's just kind of running it into the ground. If I think I had to be honest, but of course that's just my personal opinion. So now
their female division seems like it's better than the men's division right now.
Absolutely. But that kind of just leads me. I want to ask you both a question then. And you have your druthers, obviously. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time and why?
You want me to go, Keith?
Yeah, I got a couple in my mind, but yeah.
So as a kid, I liked like 8 years old, I liked the excitement of Ultimate Warrior before I knew that he was actually a terrible wrestler. But just that excitement as a kid, I loved it. then as I got older, like in high school, I switched to loving the Undertaker, and
Mm-hmm.
that love never died. But the utmost respect, we talked about him already, with Mick Foley.
Yeah.
I caught some of his Japan stuff, some of his matches with Terry Funk with the barbed wire, and that just instantly drove him to the top. Number one, that Undertaker Mankind match, greatest match, the Hell in the Cell, greatest match of all time. So
even
Mick Foley.
even the Mankind character, when he first came out with the leather mask and the squealing and ripping out his hair, like he just went full into that, and it was amazing because it could have flopped, it could have been a joke, but he was like, no, I'm going to do that, and I'm with you on that one. He's definitely up there in the top. I think as a kid, I also liked the Ultimate Warrior. In fact, I went to a pay-per-view he was supposed to be at here in Hamilton. And so I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, and Hamilton, Ontario has a huge wrestling history. The first ever Royal Rumble was actually here. And the Hacksaw Jim Duggan won. And it was... Yep. And that's a big thing for my city, but Triple H hates Hamilton. So ever since he started being a little more in control, they don't come back here anymore. So yeah, I would say the Warrior. I also fell in love with the Undertaker at some point as well. But like now that I think of all of the things I've watched, Bray Wyatt's still going to be up there. I have more merch for his than anybody else. I have a huge respect for Macho Man and a weird emotional connection to Roddy Piper.
Right.
Go ahead.
Was that because you loved the movie They Live as a kid?
I do love that movie, but no, I don't know what it was.
Welcome to Frogtown.
I wish I knew what it was, but sometimes I just hear him talking and I'm just like, that's the dude. That's the dude.
Yeah, he was good on the mic.
He really was. He had a few problems, right? Like some stupid stuff he said, but that was at the time. That was fine. But if I really had to say it, and nobody ever expects this answer, Taz.
Really?
I remember watching ECW when he was just doing his Sabu. It was him and Sabu when it's that one scene. It's when the lights turn on and Sabu's in the middle of the ring pointing up because he hadn't been there for so long, and the crowd loses it. And Taz is just in the middle of the ring with his arms crossed staring. Doesn't budge, doesn't flinch. Taz is he's just under 6 feet. I've watched him. I was watching the ECW documentary, and he said that in the match with Bam Bam didn't want to take a Tazplex through the table. And he just did it. Like, he just took this 350-pound man and threw him over his head dead weight. So I have so much respect for that guy. And he actually invented tapping out in wrestling. Tapping out was only in UFC before that, or in I think a grapple sport. And he brought it to professional wrestling because the Taz mission was so brutal that it wrapped up all your mouth and everything and choked you. So you had to tap to signal because you couldn't say I quit. So I always just
I didn't know that.
The human suplex machine. I got mad respect. I know he's a bit weird now. He's a meme. He's a running meme now on AEW because he's retired. He doesn't care anymore. But yeah, the ECW, and then right when he first came to WWE, that era Taz has always just been like, because he was the fight machine. Samoa Joe's trying to be him now, and Sikoa is trying to be him now, but he was the first to do that. Keith?
I'm going to say, so probably my all-time favorite as a kid. Well, I mean, I'm going to have to go with as a kid because it's the only time I ever really watched it regularly. So, man, big sexy Kevin Nash. That is.
Yep.
It's not. Yeah, like
I agree.
Diesel, whatever you want to call him. That was even my man. Like the Outsiders, the tag team with him and Scott Hall. Like, even when he was big with a Big Daddy Diesel or whatever in WWE, WWF at the time.
Michael's bodyguard.
Yeah. So like I think part of that too is like I remember I didn't have a gaming system as a kid. Like we were my older brother's friends, and he had like one of the first Nintendo, like whatever this was the second gen Nintendo, I think.
Nintendo 64. There was 2 games.
Even the Super Nintendo, even before that, I think. So
okay.
I just remember this was like 1990. like
Oh,
4
okay.
like wrestling game or something,
Yep.
like super old school.
I know the
And
one you're thinking about.
I remember being there was Diesel and Six Pac and all those guys. Or it was Billy. No, it was the 1-2-3 Billy. Billy. No,
1, 2, 3 kid.
Yep.
yeah,
One,
the
two,
one.
three,
Yeah,
kid.
because Billy the Kid was a different one. Billy Gilman or something. Anyway, so yeah, Kevin Nash, 100%. That was my guy.
Nice.
Good answers. Good answers. Sorry to derail that, but I get excited talking about wrestling sometimes.
Hey, it's your podcast, brother.
And it's your podcast today. Wait till Big Lou gets on. I'll probably do the same thing to you. Sorry, Keith.
You're good. So I guess I just need some clarification because I'm kind of confused here. We're talking. You kept calling him Scott and Dodds. I thought we had Big Hot on the radio. Isn't this Big Hot?
Big Hot? Oh, Lord. Yeah, my lady calls me Big Hot.
Yeah, that's the reaction we like to get. So.
Where did that come from? Or is that just because attractive trophy husband?
Yeah, about that. Yeah,
it's just trophy husband business. Yep. So what?
I've been waiting for the questions from DM and the significant other come into play, and there we go. Yeah, Big Hot.
Yeah, your partner gave us a fair amount of information. I'd say Cherry. Yeah, there's only so much we can. We're not trying to have a 3-hour podcast. So if anything she sent me didn't get released, sorry.
Oh,
but I definitely feel like we got some gems out of her though. So
fantastic.
I appreciate her being fair game and letting I think she literally wrote me like a 6-paragraph response. So I really appreciate that.
Nice.
So you were like the first supporting member, the first to recognize them in that at the Arnold. What got you in so early to Massenomics?
Well, so at work I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I've always listened to a lot of podcasts. And I literally just got on Apple Podcasts and started looking up weightlifting podcasts, and they came up, and that's how I found them back in the day. Didn't know anything about them, didn't know anything about their Instagram or anything until I started listening to podcasts. So yeah, that was like 2000. Yeah, that was like 2016 time when I first started listening to them.
So like 50 episodes in or something or less, like
yes,
pretty early.
something like that, pretty early.
Oh wow!
And then as a follow up to that, no, go ahead, please finish.
I was gonna say another first is I don't know if you guys know where the first comment race even came from.
Oh, on YouTube.
No.
So
I just know it's boring now.
I have 2 weeks in a row.
Shout out to SwimHack, who just released a YouTube video talking about his stroke that he suffered a year ago. So go over to his YouTube page and check that video out. He explains it all. He kind of disappeared in the last year, and best wishes to him. But me and SwimHack back in the day, SwimHack was commenting on the videos, and I started commenting, and I had been the only commenter for like the last 3 weeks, and the guys on the podcast had said, "Oh yeah, we do a YouTube video, guys," because they weren't really too big into that back then. They're like, go check out the YouTube too and comment like SwimHack. And I messaged SwimHack and I messaged Mass. I'm like, I'm the one that's been commenting on the videos, and then me and SwimHack just started racing every week, and then everybody slowly started jumping in and became a thing. So yeah, for about 6 months, it was just me and SwimHack going back and forth for first comment.
That's a really good story. I really appreciate hearing that.
Well, then actually that led into what my follow-up was going to be is like, what was it like being crew before crew? So before there was a Discord, before there was anything, there was just you. And like, what was that?
There was others on Instagram, but yeah, it was definitely a lot smaller. And I almost feel like a Massenomics hipster now. Yeah. Like when your favorite band becomes popular, and you're kind of like, I remember when blah, 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 back in the day. So yeah, it kind of feels like that now.
But I would say like, it also just means there's more for you to love. Right.
Absolutely. The crew podcast.
I appreciate that. I was thinking like when the Deadpool movie came out and everybody's like, great, everybody likes Deadpool. I was like, I've always liked Deadpool, but now look at all the cool Deadpool stuff I get. And that's kind of how I look at it as like, yeah, Massenomics is growing bigger. The Discord crew is, I think I forget what number I was supporting member. I could check. I think I'm under the first 50 at least. But like, Now it's 300 people. I do feel like that sometimes, where it's just like, it's not like it was, but it can only get
Right.
better, right? It can only get better as more
Absolutely.
people come in and love it.
Well, it lets the podcast continue. It lets the guys throw powerlifting meets. It lets the merchandise continue. It lets everything that we love continue.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody
but
give them
I'll
more
still
money.
always be a little. I'll always be a little hipster about it, though.
So Scott, I got a good one for you. So since you're one of the
Yes,
few
sir.
guys that we've talked to that, like a bunch of the guys have listened to all the episodes, but very few people I've talked to have been listening for since 2016 era. So what was it like when Tyler left? Did it actually hit you hard? Like, because that would
That
like me,
actually,
I don't,
it did hit
I
hard. Yeah.
I kind of figured it had to because like I hate change, so that would have like really thrown me for a loop. It was hard enough like listening to it like 3 years removed from it happening. Like so, you're just listening every week, and then he's just gone. Like that had to be a trip.
Yeah,
And like
I would interact with Tyler quite a bit on Instagram. Myself, we still actually talk every now and then. But I followed him to his other podcast that he had, which was another exercise podcast. I can't remember the name of it. But then when he moved back, he started the Conspiracy Randy, and I followed and was a member of that podcast as well. And if you should check out Conspiracy Randy, that show was freaking hilarious. They're not doing it anymore, but they're all still out there.
yeah, now he's doing a podcast like geared towards like actual gym owners, and they're trying to
Gym
make like
owners,
a business out of it. I listened to a couple of those, but it's like it's specifically to like I think their market is like 50 guys that own gyms and will like buy their self help kind of program.
But yeah, it hit hard. It kind of it took like a good month or two for the guys to kind of find themselves without that third guy to bounce off. Because Tyler was a pretty big part.
Oh, for
He
sure.
talked a lot.
Yeah,
I think Tommy really has stepped up his game since Tyler left. Tommy has taken a huge more talking. I mean, he had to, but he was a little bit seemed like he was a little bit shyer back then.
yeah, I feel like Tyler was the main host. Like Tyler was Tanner before Tanner was Tanner. Like
Right.
as far as like hosting it and keeping like the flow and everything going and like being like the number one, topic changer essentially.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. Like I think the only person I've talked to that actually like lived through that like in real time.
Actually, yeah, big shout out to Tyler. He actually follows us on Instagram. He follows the
Nice.
podcast. That was really neat to see. All right, I'm gonna go completely different direction here. I got a
Do it.
list of stuff here. Tom, what's your favorite smelling salt, and what is your favorite one to make other people smell when they visit?
That currently is now this this zone smelling salt. I have every smelling salt you can think of. I've tried every smelling salt from Obsidian to to every single one. But this zone, the blood red one in this metal container right here,
That's some decent bottling.
this is the only ammonia that hit me too hard.
Oh wow.
Like I've had a fresh bottle of I've had a fresh bottle of nose bleach, and I've hit them hard and no problem. This I actually had to undo my belt, go sit down, and breathe because it hit me so hard.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
the zone smelling salts, the red is like blood red. It's pretty insane. But nothing I love more though than a capsule, the ampule. I have about 50 ampules left, and I hold those for meet days only.
I wish I could find them. I want to play with those.
Every now and then they still will pop up on Amazon from time to time. So if you can like find them on there, you can set an alert so when they're in stock, you get an alert. That's how I got my last two. And yeah, so I got about 50 ampules left.
That's exciting.
And just save them for a special occasion now. It kind of harkens back to last week's one of Big Murph's questions for us.
The specialty spiral.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was trying to think of like what the hell did she call it, and I was just like someone will say it as I just ramble here.
Yeah, specialty spiral.
Anything else in the home gym you consider like that, like things that you only pull out on special occasions?
Nothing on special occasions really. Yeah, just the smelling salts. Everything I have, I like to use. I used to have a PR shirt, but that kind of got too stretched out and I can't really wear it anymore. So I don't even have a PR shirt anymore. But
Okay, so perfect segue then. We did get a lot of questions. We reached out specifically to the hosts at some point too. And by we, I mean Keith did, and then I did later, only to find out Keith already did. It's like killing me, man. So Tommy was actually wondering what your favorite shirt is.
I love the 8-bit strongman. I have two of them. I have a large with the sleeves still on, and then I have a medium with that cut the sleeves off because I like it tight. And when you cut the sleeves off on a medium on my size, it just looks sick. So yeah, I got two. I got two of those. That's been my favorite for sure. That strongman 8-bit, I think, just hits.
I never got in on the 8-bit ones. That was,
Okay.
I think I started ordering right about the time those were on their way out.
I do have the 8-bit powerlifting, and it's one of my favorite shirts. It's like definitely fits the best out of all the black collection.
Yeah, I think
that
it
I
fits the best. I think it fits.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best fitting for sure.
I'm a fan.
Now, what strength sports have you competed in? Because you seem to be doing you do really well in most of them, from what I can see on your Instagram.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I dabble in powerlifting. I haven't done a meet in about a year and a half, 2 years for powerlifting. Mainly, I mostly do strongman now.
Mhm.
I was just at the Highland Games here in Michigan last weekend, and that really piqued my interest. And I've been talking with several of the guys that were there, and that's something I'm definitely going to be doing for sure. Yeah, but I powerlifted in high school. I was all-state powerlifter. We had a pretty awesome powerlifting team, especially for the 90s. That wasn't such a huge thing. So,
and where was that at? Because I know like high school powerlifting, I already thought that was only really big in Texas, and it's all
Michigan.
geared lifting. So well, yeah, I know you said so was that is it geared lifting only, or were you guys doing raw back then?
It was well, a lot of kids did raw because no one had equipment, but we had one single ply deadlift suit and one single ply bench shirt that we all kind of passed around.
That's hysterical. The communal bench and the bench shirt, that had to be pretty fucking right. That had to be pretty stinky.
Yeah, because I was probably like, I think I competed at like 181, and then I'd put the bench shirt on, have 2 or 3 guys help me put it on, and then someone competing at 220 would be up, and then he'd put the same bench shirt on, and there'd be 6 of us pulling the shirt on him. So yeah, it was a good time.
All right, that's killer. Go ahead, Keith.
So
my stuff is going crazy here.
Have you had some? I vaguely remember. Did you have a pretty big ACL injury a few years ago? Is that something you went through?
2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, I tore my Achilles.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've actually torn both. I've torn both biceps, and
Jesus.
I've torn my left Achilles. I tore my Achilles in December, and then competed in a strongman competition in September.
Wow, like I could see someone doing powerlifting almost, but like strongman, like unless it was an extremely static show, like how are you out there running on one fucking like foot basically?
So the surgery for Achilles have come 1,000,000% from what they used to be. The guy who did my surgery actually holds patents or has patents pending on the type of surgery he did, and I was back to work in 6 weeks. Instead of, if I would have done it a year prior, I would have been out 6 months. So I actually got pretty lucky with the time that I did it, and the surgeon that I got was just incredible.
Nice. Well, that's good. That's good to know. So pre your Achilles injury, we saw your recent post, I think, or maybe it's something you shared in your story of you just being a complete asshole on the basketball court, just dunking on people left and right.
Hell yeah.
Tell us. So you were like basically just a big stud high school player. Were you actually, so let me put it this way, were you actually like a decent basketball player, or were you just so athletic that you could just kind of like block shots and dunk on people? Like what was your, how would you describe yourself as a basketball player, at whatever level you got to?
Well, Dennis Rodman was my favorite player growing up, and I kind of just did that on the court in high school.
Nice.
Just if there was a ball, I was going to go get it. But yeah, I relied on just hyper athleticism on the court. over any kind of fundamentals, you know. Always, anytime I'd go into a gym, no one could jump higher than me, and just knowing that going in, you just walk around with this confidence. That's kind of how I played. I wasn't gonna cross you over and hit a three in your face, but if that ball was up in the air on a rebound, I was gonna throw it down on your head. I
Nice.
dunked from age 14 until 37 was when I finally lost it. So I had a good run.
That's impressive. Yeah, 14. So you're like basically a freshman in high school.
Freshman in high
You
school.
were definitely.
Yeah.
Now, did actually get you bumped up to the varsity early or anything, or was it just more
No.
like I could dunk, but probably not in game because I would just fumble the ball as I'm trying to on a fast break.
I had a dunking game my sophomore and my senior year
Nice.
on basketball teams. Yeah, and I
Love
won a slam dunk competition at basketball camp my senior year too. So
Nice. And your good leaping ability, did that help you transition into a all-star at the YMCA volleyball program?
absolutely.
I heard you.
That's how me and my partner met playing co-ed volleyball. Yeah, we would be playing, and I would jump to go for a block, and like my belly button would be at the top of the net.
That's great.
But I had absolutely no control and for a couple years, and people were getting scared playing with me because I'd be up there spiking the ball and I'd have no idea where it was going to go.
Oh, so you were just an animal out there. Like there was no, because I mean, volleyball is pretty strategic, and as far as like you have to hit. I mean, I assume like which part of the hand you hit it with, and at like what geometry, what angle you're coming down at to kind of throw the ball with like whatever degree, and you're just up there just full force. Just
none of that mattered. None of that mattered just because of how high I could get on top of the ball. But over time, I learned how to play and definitely became more under control.
Gotcha. Did you ever?
But that athleticism has really
smashed someone right in the face.
I think I took more in the face going to blocks, going to block spikes than I ever actually really hit anybody else. So, which is a good thing.
So, are we having a callback to the Bukaki talk earlier?
Damn.
I thought that was funnier than the crowd did. Let's see. So, Big Tanner. I usually don't say his name, but we'll give him credit on this one. Is maybe I didn't notice it, or there's so many crew, it's hard to watch everyone's videos, 100% of the time and stuff. But do you have a kind of like a tick you do before a lot of your videos where you're doing like a little, you look up to the left and do a little jerking motion before going?
Now you're getting into my
story there.
Now you're getting into my question I was going to ask at the ask the host. Because you have your own little deadlift setup ticks as well. And,
we can save it. We'll save it. We'll save that. That's a good idea. Because sometimes I want to poke at Keith's little deadlift setup too. So.
We can definitely talk about it.
I want to be involved in that. All right. Well, actually, let's move on to that. That's actually a pretty good reason, right? That's a good segue. I think we've done all of our questions.
There's one more. It's just the way it's on the second page, so it's not visible if you're looking at the first page. So this is one that gave me the most chuckle out of reading your Significant Other's novel she sent me. So, okay, is it true that she temporarily had to block you on Facebook because of how many lifting videos you were posting, specifically on Facebook, not just Instagram? So you were just flooding everyone's Facebook feed with Dodzilla deadlifts.
I think that's probably 100% true, and I maybe now will post one or less lifting videos on Facebook. I keep it all for Instagram.
Nice. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. I feel in the same way. I'll post everything to Instagram, and then like no more than 25% of my Instagram videos make it to Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's hysterical that she did that. And did you actually notice that she's just like, oh, she's not liking any of my shit? Or was it just like something that she like told you after the fact?
No, she told me later. I absolutely did not notice.
There's no way he noticed. All right. So let's hear it. It sounds like you've got some fun questions for us, and I kind of fast forwarded because I think
Well, yeah,
I want to
I
hear
was
from
gonna
you.
I was just gonna mention mine. Yeah, when I deadlift or do any kind of big lift, I have a kind of up and to the left eye head tick, and I've had little ticks for a lot of different things my whole life, and things develop pre doing certain things. So there's different ticks for different things. So
Mhm.
a lot of time, if you watch my videos enough, you'll start to catch on. And I was gonna bring that up and then ask Keith. He has a very distinct deadlift setup as well. And is that something that you have to do, or is it something that you just do? I have to, like mentally, I have to do up and to the left,
Mhm.
usually twice. Is that something that is more of a tick or more of a routine?
It's definitely a routine, but I don't think I could go out and pull a lift on the platform without doing basically, if anyone's not familiar, I start with my arms at my side and I do a full, like rotator cuff rotation and get my arms back down where I'm kind of like super, like bicep kind of curled and my hands are kind of out. Like I'm ready to like basically grab some boobs and my fingers are like very like, open. Like it's like my buddy calls, jazz fingers, if you will, and
Yep.
just
Nice.
bust my balls on that. But like, no, I like today, like I'm like warming up with like 225, and it's not as exaggerated. I definitely gets more exaggerated as I go along, and I
Absolutely, me too.
is it a tick? I don't know. Could I go down and deadlift without doing it? Like not heavy. It is
Like I
definitely
feel, I feel off, but it's
100%.
something that I've dealt with, never diagnosed or anything, but those kind of things are stuff that I've dealt with my whole life. If you've watched closely, you might have even seen finger stuff in
Mhm.
watching me on this video. But yeah, it's something that I've kind of dealt with my whole life. My kids actually have a little bit too. I don't know if you want to call it just ticks or I don't know what to call it because I never gotten looked at because it doesn't hinder my life.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if Big Keith's was anything. How about you? Do you have anything like that? Do you have a routine or a tick or anything pre-lifting or pre anything else?
Not that I'm aware of. I do find that right before a big deadlift in particular, I do like to just stop and breathe. So you'll notice when I set the record at my last meet, which still isn't uploaded, right before that fourth attempt that they gave me, the record setting attempt, I actually just stop, breathe deep, and stare at the sky. And Morgan calls it praying to the old gods because I just kind of shut all the sound out around me.
Sure.
So
Get
generally,
right.
yeah, I don't have any like physical ticks or anything like that. But I definitely have that little ritual, especially before the really big, this is going to hurt deadlifts. Breathe
Sure.
deep, exhale, inhale, cut out the sounds around you, and just rip. At least not in lifting. I'm sure in my life, if you asked her, she would definitely point out little annoying things. I get in the car and I plug my phone in, and then I try to like probably, but I don't think I have anything like that. But also, that sounds like. Do you also plan a lot of things in your life?
Do I what?
Do you do a lot of planning?
Oh no.
Okay, so yeah, that does sound a little more like me because I don't either. But that's again, I don't have those rituals and things that I have to do
Yeah.
before I do things.
I definitely have rituals before, like everything has its own individual thing attached
Mhm.
to it, it seems like. So yeah. Um, is your record USPA, USPL,
WRPF,
or no, you're Canada. Okay.
yeah,
When
WRPF. I want to say it was
I
Canadian, but it might be Ontario only. I don't know until they post it. But essentially, the record didn't exist.
okay.
So every lift I did set the record,
I
and because
did.
of
I,
that,
I got the Michigan State record for deadlift in USPA, and
mhm.
it took me emailing the USPA directly to get it recognized on the site.
Okay,
So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna
I was just curious.
tomorrow when I think I have the day off. I don't know, one of my guys is sick. I might end up going in, but that might be because it's been over. I think about 30 days now.
So is
Yeah.
there's no record of it? Like, so if is it on, you need to like find the meet director and like see if they have it. If it's on their website somewhere, all you have to
It's
do
not.
is and paste that and just email. Okay, then that's crazy.
It's
Because
not
it's
on
one
Open
thing to,
Powerlifting at all, and I
well,
don't
I
think
get that
it's
it's not
on
an
their
open power.
website. Yeah, I don't think
Is
it's on
the
their website.
meat, none of the meat is on open powerlifting yet?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
think
what I'm
I did message the meet director, and I was like, "Is this ever going to happen?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're just dragging our heels." So
Yeah.
we'll figure.
What'd you pull, or what's the record for?
So because I weighed in at under 75 submasters, I just set the deadlift record. I technically set the bench record too. It's so the WRPF used to be untested only. So when they went to tested, they just blew up all of their records.
Got it.
So there was no tested records. So I looked at the guy. I was like, wait, so everything I do right now is a record? He's like, yep. Dope. I'm the guy to beat.
only if they touch your
Nice.
underwear though and check to make sure you're not wearing a lifting suit underneath your singlet.
He got annoyed at having to do it for every lift because every lift from my opener to my fourth attempt, this is a record set, and technically my bench was 2, but I didn't announce it, so they don't care.
Yeah, I pulled 617.3 in the previous deadlift record for masters. 100 kg was 600. So
Hell
I was
yeah,
pretty happy with that.
that's good work, man. It's a good lift. God, I miss lifting. I wish I wasn't sick. It's probably why earlier, remember I said like my mental health sucks right now. I think it's just related to just like being sick, and then I can only work out once or twice a week because being sick, my body is just like rejecting my recovery. So I go down to the gym, I do a couple of squats, and then I'm beat up for 2 days. So I'm just like, I can't even go lift. So now I'm just yelling at stuff on the
Don't
floor.
underestimate how much that just helps mentally, just getting in the gym.
Yeah. I don't have any outlet right now because work is also just blowing up my brain. It's why is this on the floor? And I'm yelling at stuff on the floor, and it's just like, I need a drink or a deadlift. So tomorrow we're deadlifting. I don't care what else happens. I'm also
Again, pull a Jefferson. Make sure you enter.
I'm gonna. It's gonna be tomorrow or Saturday for that. I was thinking of. I had a couple ideas, but I just don't think they're gonna work out. I was gonna actually do a discovery deadlift style video. We'll see if I.
As long as you do one, you got
Yeah.
You got three spots for people. So just get one in, or don't. So I have a better chance.
yeah. Just don't.
All right. Should we move into overrated, underrated, or do you have another question for us?
No, we kind of hit the questions that I wanted to get with. So, how about this?
Okay.
You guys both have coaches. Yes.
No.
Yep, I do. Yeah.
No, Keith does. Why?
Accountability. If I was on my own, I would either go for a PR every week and hurt myself or take like 12 days off at a time because I don't really care. So I'm financially invested in it. And I overanalyze everything in my life. So if I don't have to overanalyze my programming, that makes me mentally happier to where I don't have to like go into the weeds and like nitpick. If I was doing it, I would want to have more control over it. And I do have a good relationship with my coach. He's very open to.
Who's your coach?
His name's Justin Brand.
Okay.
He's Stronger by Science on Instagram, not to be confused with what's the really popular strength science, whatever the more popular one is. Someone thought, I can't think of who that one is. I don't remember. But nonetheless, he's a local powerlifter that I met at meets like 5 or 6 years ago, and I initially started out just paying him like $100 to do like 6 months, whatever it was. It was his pricing was so all over the place. It was hysterical. I basically just used him for meet preps for like 2 years. And then I did whatever I wanted on the off season. And it would be like, one time he charged me like $100, the next time he charged me like $250 or something. And then we just went down to a flat, very fair rate for month to month. And I just, I just PayPal him at the first of every month. And it just, takes away that anxiety of like, well, do I owe you money for this program or that program or whatever? So, just having someone to upload my videos to and get some feedback from, it's just same reason why I compete too. It's like, why do I want to do 2 powerlifting meets a year? So I have something to look forward to. Like competing's really fun and it's awesome to do, but the actual 10 to 16 week meet prep that's keeping you accountable and giving you something to look forward to, and actually having like a goal oriented thing to be a part of. Like that's, a very long answer to why I have a coach, but accountability and, camaraderie, I guess, a little bit.
Okay. I'm not anti-coach, but I just have never understood why people do or feel the need to. I've always done it all myself. So I've always been curious why. I feel like if I had a coach, they don't know me like I know me, especially I'm 42. No one knows what I feel like when I wake up, So I don't following a program, I think would be harder than me doing what I feel like I can do daily. And I feel like I've built a pretty good strength base. So I was just curious.
With mine too, it's all we were percentage based at first because I came from percentage based, and I told him like I like percentage based. I understand percentage based. It helped too that I've been with him for over 5 years, I think. So like that's essentially like I had maybe 2 or 3 years of shitty lifting on my own, or just following like free programs or like spreadsheets my buddies would make and give me and stuff like that. So like the 90% of my lifting career has been with him too. So like he does know me better than I might know myself at times, and can like see shit in my videos and like, know when to pull back and stuff just by like how exerted I feel. But a lot of it RPE based with a high top end, and then like a up to a 10% variance. And I kind of, pick whatever numbers there for the day. So that helps me a lot, just giving me a guideline. I've thought about like if ever I have a falling out with him or whatever, like what I want to do, chat the one that everybody else does, the
Juggernaut,
Chad,
or
Chad bot. Like from what I've heard, it's just way too much volume for my old ass. Like I don't think I could do all the volume, but I do like the idea of keeping everything more organized, because the app that I use with him I really don't like. But yeah,
I kind of agree. I think Juggernaut is a bit too much volume, and but it's the only thing I've ever had to keep me in line. So I use Juggernaut. I've been using it now for well over a year. And if I didn't, I wouldn't do anything. I probably would just do what I was doing, was just go down and do a couple deadlifts, 1 or 2 accessories, and call it a day. So I will say that I have seen progression. I have seen strength build and then strength loss once I got sick, losing just pounds and pounds and pounds off my deadlift and my bench and my squat. Right now, my estimated squat's 295, and I did 340 at a meet at the beginning of the year. Okay. So I do think I don't have a coach. I am self-taught, but I don't think that there's a bad side to me going to meet with somebody and just like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do to make my squat hurt less? What can I do to make my deadlift 470 instead of 469? Like, because I know, being self-taught, my form sucks. I might be a great deadlifter, but that's probably all just by mistake up until now. Maybe I've got 500-600 in me, and if somebody would show me how to do it a little better, I could get there. But I don't honestly believe I would want a coach. I don't think I would want somebody there that I have to upload to, because at the same time, I firmly believe if you don't like doing it, you won't. And I don't like fitness growing up. I can give you a whole thing about making sure that your children see you be fit, making sure that their teachers are encouraging them, because I think that I was discouraged from enjoying fitness as a child. I just had like, my gym teacher was a bully, and then I almost broke my neck.
That's too bad.
And he was that was my middle school. And then my high school gym teacher yelled at me when I almost broke my neck, refused to let me go to the office. And then I showed up in a neck brace 2 days later and never had to go to his class again. So like, there were just things that incrementally just led to me not wanting to do it. And then here I am, 35, picking up a barbell and going, this is magic. Like, I want to do this forever. So I think that, if you don't like doing it, you won't. So I don't think that having a coach who I have to wake up every day, and if I message go, hey man, work went 10 hours instead of 6, I don't think I'm going to make it into the gym today. And having somebody berate me isn't going to fix that. If I work 10, 12 hours, I'm not working out. Stick it up your tailpipe. Like I'm going to go home and I'm going to sit down and hug my kid and have a beer. I'm not going to go, and no amount of, so I just don't think it'll be worth my time, to be honest with you, to be fair.
Yeah, the other day I went into my gym, my garage, and started deadlifting. Got up to 315. It felt terrible. I put everything away and called it a day.
Yep. And I can do that.
Yeah.
And Jug does. Okay, so this week I mentioned that I've lost so much weight on my Juggernaut. Wanted me to do 265 for 6. And then and that was me setting my max at 315. And I could only do 4. So it lowered the weight, did some back off sets, and it wanted me to do 5 sets of 4. No, 5 sets of 6 at like 205. And I finally, like on the 5th set, was just like, I can't keep going. And then Juggernaut was like, then stop. And Juggernaut actually just told me to stop squatting. Like it just listened to the feedback. So I can genuinely say I do really appreciate Juggernaut.
Awesome.
Giving me some sort of, I don't do a lot of the accessories because I think 2.5 hours in the gym is too much. I'll stick to the 2 hours. But I do appreciate it giving me that feedback. Good question.
Cool.
Hitting us with all the good ones this week, Scott.
That's what I'm here for.
He's been doing this longer than all of us. Just in the back end. So overrated, underrated. I don't know if you're familiar with this game, Big Dodds, but essentially we've got 6 hand-selected subjects for you. You do have to pick whether they are overrated or underrated.
Can I ride the line?
You cannot ride the line. That is the most important thing to remember. You do have to ride one horse. Keith, why don't you lead them this week? Because they are mostly you. I actually had no overrated, underrated for you this week.
You didn't.
So.
I had a couple, and we screwed up because we said we were going to add 8 or 9 and then like delete the ones that we kind of covered, and we forgot to do that. And I'm like scrambling to think of what to make my second one, but I think I might just run with it. So overrated, underrated, Big Scott. You know how to play. So split sleeve York barbells, overrated or underrated?
Overrated, because I don't like using them. The knurling's terrible, and I have one that I restored. It was pretty rusty. It looks pretty good now. Overrated. I use my equipment, and I don't like to use it, so that's why.
I agree with you on that. That is, I know I'm not supposed to help answer these, but yeah, this is one where I do have a very distinctive, like you, I remember you watching you refinish the barbell a couple years ago. I was like, oh, I should do that to one of mine. And then I ended up like doing the vinegar bath and not pulling it out soon enough. And it just destroyed it. Like it looked so shitty. No. So then I ended up getting like a Nylox wheel and knocking pretty much all of the coating off altogether. But I was a good answer because they are a horrible barbell as far as anything.
I want to use.
Yes.
I want to use my equipment. I don't want to just have it sit. So yeah.
Yep. So that's a good one. So overrated or underrated? Gym stickers.
Gym stickers. Like stickers around the gym. I have
yeah.
I have a lot of vinyl that I hand cut myself. My whole deadlift platform is covered in vinyl stickers that say things like Dodzilla or lever flicks and hook grip, and I hand cut all of them out of vinyl from work.
So. Yeah, I was gonna ask if that was for plate snacks or so you have like a big thermal printer at work you can use when no one's looking. That's good to know.
But yeah, plate snacks. I've just started using them for the last month. I have 4 45s now covered, with one with my gym logo and one now with a Tommy, as you'll see in my Jefferson deadlift competition video.
I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, I was actually writing in our little thing as we were chatting, like I want to talk about plate snacks because the Tommy one with the flex and right where the barbell goes, that's top tier stuff, man. That's good quality comedy.
Yeah, I had them make those for my plates, and I have now end caps that my power bar has my logo on the end cap now. I took the end cap out and replaced it with their end caps that I had custom made.
I've been looking at that, so I might do that for my barbell. Is get my own thing made. That's a good idea.
Yeah, Play
I think
Snacks. They've done right by me. I mean, I
Yep.
paid for everything, but everything I've designed and sent them has turned out really great. So I recommend them a lot.
yeah, plate
But
snacks.
Jim Stickers underrated. You should. My
Jim
log is
Snickers.
covered in stickers. I love stickers.
A Jim Snickers actually sounds pretty good right now. I could fuck up
There we go.
a Snickers bar in the gym. Well, those were my two that I had. The rest looks like they're from Jim. From Jin. I don't even know how to pronounce the next one, so
All
I'm
right,
not.
I'll jump in.
Yeah, have at it.
Yeah,
Go.
so like Massenomics mom Big Jen is slowly becoming unpaid and underrated mom because she is engaged with the Instagram. She sends me so many questions for everybody. So like I don't think well, I know we throw it out to Nate every week and thank him for this, but I honestly don't think I could do some of what I do without Jen. So I believe this is pronounced, sorry, overrated or underrated, Weimariners or Waymariners.
Weimaraners.
Weimariners.
Yeah,
What
The
the hell is
dog.
that?
It's
What
the
the hell is
dog.
that? It's a dog.
okay.
Yes. I have a 2-year-old Weimaraner, and they're extremely underrated. It's the greatest dog that you can get. Do you know the calendars or posters of the dogs dressed up as people?
Yes.
That's a Weimaraner. The gray,
Oh.
it kind of looks like a Labrador, but gray.
I'm gonna Google this shit, aren't I? Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah,
I'm Tommy.
yeah. My dog, 2-year-old puppy Weimaraner. His name is Zamboni, like on the
Look
ice,
at them. Okay, I
and
see it. Yep.
they're the goodest boys. He's in my and any of my he's in the gym with me every day when I work out. Last summer was a little bit rough training him. He used to jump in on my lifts all the time. Now he's got a little bed in here, and he just hangs out while I lift the whole time. He's the best boy. So underrated Weimaraners.
Outstanding. All right. Overrated or underrated. Also, all of these are from Big Jen.
Got it.
Remember, I had a garbage week. I was not able to jump in and do any of these for me. So if they're, I hopefully there's some surprises for you. Overrated or underrated Broadway musicals.
Underrated. My
Okay.
girls,
Why?
my girls. I have 2 daughters, and they are big into musicals. I know almost every song to every popular musical for the last 20 years.
Wow.
I have I have seen Mary Poppins on Broadway. I've seen The Book of Mormon on Broadway. I just went and watched Chicago, a small production of Chicago a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. I just saw uh why can't I remember the name of Six? I don't know if you know what that is. That's a Broadway musical. We have Grand Rapids brings a lot of the traveling Broadway shows through town. That's where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I see lots of them. And we sing the songs in my car with my girls. And sometimes I even lip to them because the attachment to those songs gets me hyped. So
Of
yeah,
course.
Broadway musicals, underrated. Looking at me, you would never guess that.
So I will tell you I have no patience for musicals. But have you watched Schmigadoon on Apple TV?
I have not.
Okay, so it is a modern couple like in today's with if I could only remember their names.
Is it where they go to like a city and it's all a musical?
Yep. Yep.
Yes, I know what it is. I have not seen it though.
Not kid friendly. It is
Okay.
definitely adult oriented, but not like in a like an R rating way, but like a PG-13 way. And it is for somebody who does not have any patience for musicals. I will honestly tell you, I enjoyed every episode of that first season.
I'll have to check it out.
And then the second season is technically called Schmicago because it's a little more Chicago and Rent leaning because they go
Yep.
back to the town in the second season, but the town is completely different. All the same actors, but just playing very different roles. So if you do like those musical things, and you like comedy a little bit, then you'll probably enjoy Schmigadoon.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, I just saw Chicago last month, and
Mm-hmm.
a friend of ours was playing the keyboard and accordion in it, and that was a not for kids show.
It's
21 and up.
Yeah, Schmicago is definitely not for children. Okay. Overrated or underrated? Cosplay.
Underrated.
Okay. Tell me why.
Me and my oldest daughter go to comic book conventions at least 2 a year. And I go as Bane a lot.
Hell yeah.
From Batman. And I was trying to do Chainsaw Man for this last one, but it just wasn't working out.
I was wondering about the chainsaw in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. So that wasn't working out. So I went as Bane again. I went as Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure last year to a Comic-Con. My daughter is huge into cosplay. I've gotten her so many different things. And it's just a lot of fun walking around as Bane and taking pictures with kids and other Batman. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun. And if you've never done it, I recommend it.
So I have a follow up to that. Is Big Murph your daughter?
I have LARPed. That's a fact. I have done LARPing.
Big Murph is LARP essenced. She's not.
Yes, adjacent.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. That's a really good answer. I don't personally do any cosplaying because with a
someone who has a lot of masks.
I was going to actually say that because with a beard, it's actually really hard to cosplay. Like you're pretty much Kratos or nothing, right? Like that's
or the guy from Game of Thrones. Well, you could look like Wildling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But with all those, I have so many. And they're all Bray Wyatt masks. You would know them. I have the Sheep mask. I have the Fiend mask. I have the Uncle Howdy mask. Like I've got all of it. And it is really fun. So I love that answer.
Oh.
Okay.
Bane is my favorite cosplay to go as. It just kind of I have the right body type for movie Bane,
which is arguably the best Bane.
Perhaps.
I always tell people my internal monologue is his voice. So when I need to like slow down and make sense of something, it becomes Tom Hardy's Bane's voice.
Nice.
Like doing the "Do you feel in charge?" Like it's that voice. It's so perfect for me. All right, the last one. Oh, do you do the voice when you do the cosplay?
I have to because people ask me to do it all the time, and the mask actually echoes.
Does it?
You can get a better impression with the mask on just because of the kind of echo that it creates. So yeah.
I found using plastic beer pitchers was actually the perfect amount of echo to get that voice. Oh, he's getting up. Are we going to find the voice?
Getting a prop.
Hell yeah.
So you threw the rest of the episode with that on now.
I don't think your audio would like it very much.
Yeah, probably not.
It'll be like when they first released the testing of Tom Hardy as Bane, and it was just and everybody's like, we're not watching that movie. So they had to go and dub it over so that okay. Last
one, what you got?
For all the marbles.
I hope I pass.
Pools in the Midwest.
I grew up with a pool as a kid, and my parents still have a pool. We go over there often. Summers get hot.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I loved it. When I bought this house that I live in now, we specifically looked for houses without pools because I didn't want to take care of it.
Yeah.
So as an adult, overrated because I do not want to put up with that nonsense of having to take care of it. I live 15 minutes from my parents who have an in-ground pool that's really nice. So we'll go over there and swim. They do a great job taking care of it. I do not envy that. Mm-hmm. As a kid, extremely underrated. We always were at my house swimming. After football practice, jumping in the pool, football conditioning in the summer. It was extremely underrated. But now, currently in my life, I would never have a pool.
Yeah, forget that noise. All right. Well,
I love going to my parents and swim.
All right. I think you passed.
Yes. Cool beans.
Right.
Cool beans.
You know what? As you said that, I was thinking to myself, I think we need a sound that when we're done the overrated, underrated, we play something like that, but not that.
we seem to like have a pause and then Nate can put something in post, but that would kind of like force him to do post every episode though.
I'll figure it out. I'll get a button. I've got a whole new fancy computer, guys.
Nice.
It does things. I don't know
So,
what it does.
so Scott, you mentioned football also. So what did you
Yeah.
enjoy more, football or basketball or any other sport you played in high school?
I was a better football player, but I had more fun playing basketball.
That's
That
good.
makes sense. Yep.
But
you,
I was, what's that?
were you able to utilize your leaping ability in football? Like, were you like a tight end or a receiver or something that could actually like take advantage of?
I played tight end and outside linebacker, and I was all conference outside linebacker. And the jumping definitely came into play for blocking punts. I got several of those.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is Unpaid and Underrated episode, whatever this episode is. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Was that?
I said 6, episode 6.
Episode 6, this one? Yeah, that's probably episode 6. Yeah, we didn't get to Big Matt again. I think he's back from vacation. So we'll get to him soon, I promise. Maybe even at the Lift Hard Live Easy. We'll have Big Matt Mostly Squat videos featured somewhere on this podcast. And if you're listening, Big Matt, which I think you are.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, let me know. You can find us at Unpaid and Underrated Podcast on the Instagrams. You can find us, the podcast, on all streaming platforms and on unpaidinternpodcast.com. I'm Big Joey at Joey_MLECZKO. Hey, Big Orange Glaze, where can we find you?
Keith Honeycutt 73 on Instagram, and my gym, the No Wine Cellar.
And Big Scott Dodds, Big Hot Dodds. Ooh, Hot Dodds, that's a good one too. Where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me on Instagram at Scott Dodds _hook grip, because I will not pull mixed grip after tearing a bicep. Smart. And you can find me on YouTube under the same, Scott Dodds _hook grip, and I have longer videos there of a lot more of training stuff that are a lot more edited. So come check me out. Check out my Jefferson deadlift competition submission.
Well, you guys check all those things out and be sure to tune in next week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.